Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house or in your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again, Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everyone, what's up and Happy New Year once again. I think it is okay to say Happy New Year at least for the first month, right? At least for the first month of every new year. You know, I always wonder about that. Should I be saying it today, tomorrow? Have I said it enough? Am I wearing it out? You know, but I think, you know, for the most part, people generally agree that you can usually say Happy New Year all the way up until Valentine's Day. Yep, see, Miss Hogg agreed. Okay. But what's up, you guys? Come on in. Thank you guys for joining us today. We are back going live and giving our little commentary, you know, in the B sector. But yes, what up, Sheila? How you doing? Miss Hall, Chakra King Black. How you guys doing today? Make sure you guys come on in and like and share the video. Please and thank you very much. Also, please feel free to join the membership or, you know, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new here. Please and thank you very much. But you guys, it's Friday. I was just sitting around chilling. I've been watching a little bit of commentary throughout the day. When I got off of work, I saw people still doing commentary on a certain topic that is not new to the B sector streets. We had already heard this storyline before, a real life storyline of one of the individuals, you know, subscribers in the, you know, B sector. And I find it, I don't know if I want to say strange, but I find it, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to use the wrong words, but it's just crazy to me sometimes how things that people go through, a lot of people seem so shocked by, as if it's not something that happens every day, as if it's something not happen every day. Now, the title of my video, hold on. Now I see why Olivia be having people posted across the bottom of her screen when she go live. She was like, I forgot what I put in the title of my video. But anyway, it says there will always be an R. Kelly and a P. Diddy. There will always be an R. Kelly and a P. Diddy. Whether be it right, be it wrong, there will always be somebody looming around, you know, around somebody's child. Somebody eyeballing somebody's child. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of, as far as the storyline that, you know, we heard again, you know, for some of us who heard it before, some of y'all are new to the story. I heard Jay Dunn earlier on whose panel was she on? Sincere Saida. She was like, I've never heard that story before, but she said she probably didn't hear it because it was told over there on Jay Wilson's panel some years ago, and Jay Dunn was like, well, I've been blocked over there, so I don't really go over there to watch him because I can't participate, so why go over there? So she said that's probably why she never heard the story. But I've heard the story before, and we heard it again today over on Brianna's panel, and a few other places today, recently. And it's about Catherine, you know, Powell's story. I'll say her name. She didn't say her story, you know, she didn't talked about it on panels. But Catherine Powell. So she tells a story of how, thank you, Sheila. Very, very true. Very true. And she tells a story of how when she was younger, when she was 15 years old, a guy who worked across the street at the boys club across from her school, she ended up dating. Not messing around with, not sleeping with, not a one night stand, but actually dating. And one thing I like about what Bree did say on her panel earlier was that we give too much to the females sometimes. We give too much, and in some cases it's males too. It's males too, and I can't remember who on Bree's panel said that, but it happens to males too. But they said also that males don't genuinely like to talk about it, and that's very, very true. Very, very true. Which is why when my boys was growing up, I'm telling you, they swear by it. My youngest son is on his way out the house to go on a date, but they'll swear by it. Mama used to ask us all the time, like all the time, don't let us go here with a coach. Don't let us go here, go there, somebody's house. Did anybody fuck with you? Anybody mess with you? Anybody touch you? Anybody? Ooh, I remember when my oldest son used to work at the Walmart down to the Wally World, and he used to come home. He was a teenager in high school, and he used to come home and say, "Mama, there are these old women. They be coming up there, and they always come back to my area, and they don't want to buy nothing." And he worked in the electronic department. So, with all the cell phone stuff, video games, computer stuff, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, they just be coming around, hey, what's up? How you doing? And he could tell that they was flirting with him. I'm like, you better tell them old biddies, they don't want none of this. Tell them asses to give you 50 feet. Like for real, 50 feet. You can't let people play with your kids. And you got to stay on your kids. You got to have an open relationship with your kids. You got to have an open door to your kids. Something that I did not have when I was younger with my mother. I didn't have that open door policy with my mother. Matter of fact, my mother shied away from talking about certain things. And y'all know, those who've been following me for a minute or know me in my personal life, I got friends and family who watch me too. And y'all know my mama, child, Sister Mary. I mean, we talking about Bible thumping, Holy Ghost. You know how they be running around the church, kicking their shoes off. She was an usher. She was a minister for a moment. A couple of years, she was a minister. I mean, she was just really, really churchified, right? Really churchified, like total opposite of me, total opposite of my stepdad. I always wondered. Matter of fact, when we had my stepdad's funeral about a week ago, I got up there to speak. I was the last one to speak after my little brother. I was the last one. And I had said, I looked around at my family on his side, and they all gangsters. I mean, everybody's up there. Man, I miss Unc. He was gangster. I learned so much from him. My cousins, my relatives. And that's my dad. He like grew up in the streets, hustling, slanging. I mean, he would have 5 jobs, 10 jobs, whatever it took to take care of my mama, who he didn't care if she worked or not. But I look at them and I'm like, how the hell did y'all? She's going to church every day. We going to 30-day tent revivals, 3-month tent revivals. Got to be at church for everything. He at home chilling with his beer, smoking, listening to his shit. And I'm like, why can't we stay home with that? Y'all going to be in church. I don't understand. I'll never understand how they found their way to each other, because he was so different and she was so different. And so we ended up having the best of both worlds growing up. We had this religious upbringing where I knew at any point, if I was out there in them streets and something went down, I knew how to pray. I knew how to call on the blood of Jesus. I knew how to, I mean, boy, I didn't need nobody to intercede if I was out there in those streets by myself. But I also knew how to hustle. I knew how to fight. I knew how to, well, I'll just leave it right there. Okay, I'll just leave it right there. But one thing my mother didn't have with me was an open policy when it came to relationships and sex. And only thing she used to say all the time is, don't have sex, you're going to hell. Your panties, your drawers gonna be on fire, you're going to hell. Don't have a baby out of wedlock, because you're going to hell. And on your way down to hell, I'm gonna put your ass out the house, right? She was really strict. But I really wish I had that open relationship, that open policy where it came to talking about personal things that little girls go through. Yeah, opposites attract. They really did. Up until the day she passed. She passed in 15, and he passed about 3 weeks ago. And it was always opposite attract. It was fun though. It was fun. I can go on and on about that relationship between them. But what I'm getting at is a lot of females, including the Catherines of the world, who was telling her story for the second or third time in the B sector this morning on Bree's panel. A lot of females around that age, we don't hear what we need to hear. And I'm not telling her story, but I can tell my story and different females that I grew up with. We didn't hear what we needed to hear from our parents or our mother, I should say. We didn't have the talks. I never even was spoke about the birds and the bees, honey. I learned how to have sex by having sex. I learned everything about sex by having sex. I learned everything about boys by being with a boy. I mean, I didn't learn anything about, I don't know, my mother. She was just really, I don't understand it, because when my boys got to a certain age, I sat down with my oldest son in front of a computer and I showed him pictures of all the different diseases you can get. That right there is herpes. That right there is syphilis. That right there, this is what you can get on your little ding ding. This show what you're gonna get on your little ding ding if you out there and you're not practicing safe sex. And they be like, Mom, I didn't give a damn. We talking about it. We talking about girls. We talking about sex. We talking about everything. And there are certain things that they didn't want to talk to me about. And I would tell them, go to your dads. Y'all do got daddies. Even though y'all live with me for the majority of life, y'all got daddies. You can talk to them too. And thank you so much, Mrs. Hall. And what's up? How you doing, Carla? What up, homegirl? Hey, Big Riggs, how you doing? What's up? Under new management, how you doing? How you doing? And Big Riggs said, I keep an open door policy. What's up? You have to. You have to. You said you want to know everything, and we get through it in yes. There was times where I wish I could talk to my mom and I couldn't, especially when I used to get in trouble and stuff like that. Um it's funny because a lot of times when me and my cousins get together, you know how you reminisce on old shit, way back in the Gap shit. And we was one time talking about how my auntie used to pretend to be my mom when I could get into certain predicaments, right? And she wouldn't tell my mom. My auntie, she like from the streets too. She cool as hell. I mean, she's cool as hell. Rest in peace to my auntie too. But she's cool as I don't know what. And I could go to her and be like, Auntie, could you please sign this? Could you do this? Auntie, could you please come with me to court? Auntie. But there was a certain time in my life as I got older where something really went down and I was facing something really heavy. And she said, we got to tell your mom. And so that's when we told my mom. And it was like, okay, it was nerve wracking to try to talk to her about certain things, but that was like the first time I really talked to my mom. And then, of course, after I grew up and we got older, like sometimes my kids do that shit too. Mama, you know that one time where, yeah, we was here. What? Don't tell me that shit. And you know how sometimes we do that. We don't tell our parents everything once we grown, but there be some shit we be like, dang, Mom, you didn't even know we was doing that, or you didn't even know it. My mother would look at us and she'd be like, I don't even, please, no more. Please don't tell. And my dad be over there laughing because my dad always knew what he was up to. My dad always knew what we were up to. And he used to tell my mom sometimes, you know your daughter out there. You know your daughter doing this. You know your daughter. No, she ain't. Not my daughter. Not my daughter. The Lord would show it to me. If my daughter was out there, y'all, she was really religious, right? Keep that in mind. And I used to be like, I don't know about your God, child. Your God ain't on his job, okay? Because he ain't, okay. But anyway, so it was a lot of times where I couldn't talk to my mother, and I wish I could have. And that's why I did that with my boys. I don't have daughters. Never wanted daughters. Some of y'all heard me say that before. Never wanted daughters because I would probably be locked up before she was 12. The people who I grew up with and hung around who had daughters, I'll be child. I be like, if you don't get this girl, you let her talk to you like a girl. What? You better get her. Y'all. I mean, I done seen some badass little girls growing up, and I'll be like, I don't know how y'all do it. Nope, give me boys any time of the day. Throw them in front of every video game that come out, the 6-4, the Nintendo, I mean, we can go all the way back. Okay, all the way back to the Sega, to the just get them video games. They all good. Put them in sports. They all good. No problems. No problem. But yeah, now back to the R. Kellys and the P. Diddy's. Now, of course, they're not the only ones. They're like getting a lot of light on them, being shined on them the last few years, last few months. So I just put their name in the title. But y'all know they ain't the only one out there that be messing with people, little kids. We all know that. But they're always going to be out there. Like when I was listening to Bree's panel and different people's panels, and I was listening to people talk about, well, where was your mama? I mean, where was my mama? When I was out there doing shit, okay? So I think sometimes also, and what up, Sislo? How you doing? What up, friend? Hey, baby, kind of me. How you doing? What's up? What's good? With my situation, I don't think my mother ever wanted to even acknowledge that I was out there doing things. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, she was shy. She was just not the type of person. My mother was not open like that. She was really shy, really timid. I mean, I used to go to bat for her sometimes, because my mother was not a fighter. She don't like confrontation. She'll tell you in a heartbeat, well, God turned the other cheek. Jesus turned the other cheek. I'll just pray about it. The time when my neighbor had got into it with my mother, and I wasn't even living at home then. I was grown. And my dad told me something that went down. I must have went over there banging on that bitch's door. Don't you ever let me hear about you. I mean, it was a mess. My dad was like, no, Pooh, it's okay. No, fuck that shit. Mama might not say something. Nope. They never had a problem and lived in that same house for 15, 20 years. So yeah, sometimes I have to, step in the gap. For my mom, because sometimes I don't want to say she was a pushover, because she wasn't a pushover. She just didn't like heated conversations, and I don't know, maybe it has something to do with her growing up. I don't know, but we never, when I say never, had a conversation about sex. Never. But if she thought I was messing around with somebody, oh, it was on and popping. She'll try to ground me. She didn't even have to prove. I don't know how you just smell it. Like, you smell like you've been doing something. She didn't really say that for real though. But I'm just trying to be funny. But you know how sometimes you just be knowing, your senses, something's going on with my child. I don't know for sure. But I'm going to tell you, girl, have a baby if you want to. You and that baby going to be out there in the garage. You ain't going to be living here with no kid. I got them talks all the time. So every time when I used to have sex, I mean, like I said again, my mother was a Bible thumper, prayed all the time, taught us how to pray. Boy, I'll be on my knees, let the condom break or something. I'll be on my knees speaking in tongues that only God know what I'm saying. Because I'll just leave it. I didn't know what the hell I was saying. But I'll be praying my ass off. Please don't let me be pregnant. Please don't let me. Oh, God. And that was around the day where everybody was falling dead of AIDS and all that kind of shit back there in the 90s. And, the early 90s. And diseases was heavy and all this kind of stuff, and I didn't want to be the Brenda's got a baby. I didn't want to be none of that shit, right? So I would pray and pray and pray and pray. Yes, the garage says slow. Should my mama been to put me and that baby in that old school long ass black Cadillac that my daddy had in the driveway that we couldn't never touch unless we was getting a ride. You talking about a man who loved his cars. Oh my God. But yeah, she would no, I would pray and pray and pray. I mean, cry and snot and pray. And then when when our best friend, ladies, when our best friend comes around that time, I'll be like, ooh, thank you, Jesus. I promise I never until how you had those drunken nights and you be so drunk And you'll be like, Lord, please, if you just take this hangover away, this headache away, I promise I won't ever drink again. Man, let that nigga walk. Girl, what you up to? What up? Yeah, I'll be over there again. You know, I'm trying to stick with the story, y'all. I'm trying to stick with the topic, y'all. I'm really trying here. But the R. Kellys and the P. Diddy's, they were everywhere when I was growing up. Some of them in the family. Oh, Brianna had me cracking up when she was talking about one time her friend, her best friend at the time, needed a ride to school. And Brianna said her grandpa was taking her friend, and her grandpa tried to touch her friend's titty. I was hollering. Now, no, my grandpa ain't never, but I swear to God, I was talking to somebody the other day. I can't remember who it was. It had to be a friend or a cousin. And I was like, man, some of the people in my family who I grew up with, you know, they didn't touch me or nothing like that. But I know I ain't the only one who heard an uncle or somebody, man, if you wasn't my cousin, man, if you wasn't my niece, man, if you, I'm like, you a sick motherfucker. What's wrong with that? I don't know if that was a thing from back in the day. Like my title in the video also is Ain't Nothing New Under the Sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun. The same shit that went on back in the day when it comes to sex, females, boys, men, the same shit goes on today. The same shit goes on today. Neighbors, I'm young as fuck. Hey girl, what you doing? Where you going? What up, girl? I know he 20 something. What the fuck you mean? What's up? Age ain't nothing but a number. Oh, when that Aaliyah and that nasty ass R. Kelly came out with that damn song. I mean, oh God. Age ain't nothing but a number. Of course, back then. We didn't know he was fucking around with Aaliyah. Some people did. I caught on a couple years later after the song was already out. But at the time, everybody's age ain't nothing but a number. You know, we all singing that song. Yeah, he 20 something wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Back in the day, most of the men were 15, 20 years older than the girl, right? The girl would be in high school. The men would ask permission from their daddies. Could I please have your daughter? Could I please? You know, and then as we got closer to like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was still a thing for these older men to be messing around with these young girls. But like Bree said, we like to put too much on the women. We like to put too much on the girls, knowing. Now let me say this before I finish. Let me say this. Catherine said she approached him. She was 15. He was 29. Is that odd? I heard somebody say later on another panel, why would you, what were you going through? What was wrong with you for you to be reaching out or flirting with? It was the thing back then. It wasn't only in my world, but obviously Catherine's world and a lot of other people's world. It was the thing back then. I don't know what female in my circle, I can't name one that didn't want an older guy with a job or a hustle. He had to be slanging, banging, working, you know, all that shit. He had to have 4 wheels, maybe even have some rims. He got to have some Tims, some J's. So, I mean, we want them fly and we want them older. We wasn't trying to mess around with them little buck tooth, nappy headed, pissy pants, still wet behind the ears, little boys still staying at they mama in their house. That ain't what we wanted back then.
Okay.
Son, I'm keeping it real.
See, before you said all that stuff about the man staying at home and being a man,
here we go.
A bunch of money and stuff like that. Y'all,
here we go.
Digging back there?
Yes, we were. Hey. Yes, we were.
Hey, I know yes, we were. Right?
Yes, well, she ain't nothing but a gold digger. Y'all, my son is crazy. That's Cam, y'all. That's Cam. That's the gamer. Some of y'all follow him. But yeah, that's all I need. She gets money. What up, Jay Dunn? You said, girl, no. You said true, but they knew that. They knew their age too. Yeah, because one thing somebody said was, did you lie about your age? Now, let me tell you something. You can lie about your age, or you can show a state ID, a student ID. Some niggas don't give a damn. They don't care. If you lie to them, it might let them feel a little less morals about it, or well, she lied. She lied. I get a pass because she lied. Yeah, I thought she looked pretty young. Yeah, she still had braces and bobby socks and ponytail holders in her hair and balls. Yeah, she looked really young, but she told me she was. Let me tell you, one time I was dating this guy and I thought he was a certain age and he was not. And the only reason why I found out he was not a certain age was because I found out he had a damn twin. And when I found out he had a damn twin, it happened to be their birthday. So the twin was like, man, we about to be lit for our birthday. What we gonna do, bro? And all. I'm like, you got a twin? Where the fuck he come from? And the twin was like, yeah, we about to turn, it was 26 or something like that. I was like, 26, bitch? You told me you was 21. So not only do girls lie about their age, but guys lie about their age too. So we can't put it too heavy on the females all the time because, yeah, even if they out there being fast, running the streets, not listening to their mamas, in the end, it's always the grown up that's at fault. In the end. Oh, I thought the ambulance was outside my house. It's a street trust because it's supposed to snow tomorrow. They putting down part of that stuff on the streets. Yeah, hopefully. After they tore the mayor up like a couple of weeks ago over that ice storm, shit, they let her have it, boy. But anyway, all right, son, love you, bye. Be safe. But so yeah, everybody was telling stories. Like everybody has a story to tell, and a lot of people around my age back then, whether it's wrong, whether it was right, we liked older guys, and older guys liked younger, and they still do. And they still do. And they still do. And this is one of the reasons why I wish me and my mom had a more open door policy to relationships when I was growing up. Because I know for a fact that some of the things I was out there doing, I would not have been doing. I know that for a fact. That I wouldn't have been doing. Like if I would have heard, like if my mom would have sat down and told me stories, girl, when I was young, girl, we never had that. We just never had it. Never had it. And I didn't even realize we didn't have it until I got older. Till I got older, because when you in a household, sometimes, okay, you know how, like I say, we was really we was on a struggle back in the day. We had everything from food stamps to Section 8. We had the Medicaids. We had all kind of shit in between jobs when my dad was laid off or whatever back in the gap. Welfare checks that didn't pay shit. I mean, we was a struggle family. We weren't rich by no way. But it didn't make me realize till later what we didn't have and that we was really like broke. As I got older and saw how much different some households was, I'll be like, what the hell? Like when we was younger, child, when we was younger, and I used to help my mama wash or do the laundry. And how one of the houses we moved in had one of those, Miss Hogg, you might remember them washers back in the day, the ones, the ringer washer thingy. Man, I thought that was what everybody had. means you couldn't put the cover or the blanket. You couldn't put a blanket or something in between that damn thing. You just try to wring it out, wrench it out the best you could with your hands. Don't try to put no blue jeans up through that motherfucker because the whole wheel gonna pop off. Then your mama done taught you so well how to fix the shit. So you know how to fix the wheel. You know how to put it back on. Then send them goddamn clothes through again. Ah, man, when I tell you, I didn't hate that thing until one day I went over somebody else's house. And who was it we used to have way back in the day? Was it Maytag? You know, you come from Sears. Was it Maytag? It was Maytag or something like that back in the day. And they had the whole little mattress set with a dryer. We hung our shit outside. We lived in the hood. We hung our shit outside on hangers. If it was wintertime or raining, we hung the shit in the basement. Like a dryer. What? Dishwasher? Man, the first time I went over my new neighbor's house and they was bougie. Her husband worked for the city. You know, they had good jobs. And one of the girls that stayed next door to me, who I'm still friends with to this day, her name is Toya. And I used to go to her house. I used to have so much fun over there because they had everything. They had cable. They had shit that we didn't have. We had a phone sometimes, but not all the time. We had cable sometimes, but not all the time. We had food sometimes, but no, I'm just playing. But yeah, they had everything. And they had a dishwasher. I was like, Mama, why we don't never get no dish? Y'all are the dishwashers. Yes, Sears Road, but Kenmore. Yes. You said your brother broke his arm on one of those? Oh my God. You said I learned more from my aunt than my mom when it came. Oh, I learned a lot from my auntie. I'm telling you, my auntie was so cool. Man, she was so cool. I have like maybe, let's see, on my mom's side, 1, 2, 3, it was 5 girls and 1 boy. Yep, 5 girls and 1 boy. So on my mom's side, I had 4 aunties. And then of course I had the ones on my bio dad side. I got a lot of aunties on that side. And then I got my stepdad. So I got aunties on that. I had a ton of aunties. But this one particular auntie, the one that I could talk to, she was cool. She was so cool and down to earth. She didn't care. I'm telling you, she was just like, whatever. She was like, man, she invented YOLO. She invented YOLO. You only live once. Okay. That was my auntie. But yeah, it was like, if you don't know, you don't know. Right? If you don't know, you don't know. So when I was coming up as a young girl, as a teenager, the things that my parents should have been talking to me about, like my mom, I didn't know that it was missing until I got older. And in hindsight, I'll be like, man, I should have knew that dude was fine. Man, that's why I tell you, when I got to a certain age, a nigga couldn't tell me shit. I done been through too much at a young age for you to try to put one over on me. How they say I was born at night, but not last night. So you couldn't get shit over me. Once I got to a certain age, I knew way more shit than I should have at the age that I was at. But it also helped me grow up fast. And when I did have my first son, even though I wasn't ready to have kids, I wasn't planning on having kids, I didn't want to have kids, I already was like a little older in my years by just experience. And so it helped me get through life, even though I had a lot of setbacks. I ain't never been rich. I always had at least a job or 3 or 4, a hustle or 2 or 3, you know. And so it was like I got really, really mature and really grown really fast. And it sometimes sucks. It sometimes sucks because you go through these experiences and you look back in hindsight and be like, why did I? Like the shit that Catherine, that she went through, sounds like she got a nice son out of it. A son that I'm sure she's very proud of. Somebody even asked her, did you ever tell your son that you was 15 when his daddy was 29, or that you was, and he was messing with you? She's like, no, but somebody else told him. She said, I never wanted to tell him, but somebody else told him. So he knows that his dad was way much older than his mom when he started. He knows that she was a little girl, 15 years old in high school, and he was damn near 30. He was R. Kelly, and that was Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? Her son found out later by someone. She didn't say who told him, but found out. But at that time, when you're that young, sometimes what you don't know, you just don't know. And if you don't have those talks, if you don't have a close relationship with, just like with sons, like Riggs was saying in the chat earlier with sons, he really tries to keep an open door policy because when shit hits the fan, you want your son, you want your daughter, you want your child to come to you and not go to the streets or go to the home girls. And you have to have that type of relationship with your child. You don't have to be their best friend. Like some parents, we that's my best friend, that's my boo. We kick together, we do this together. It's all good to be really close to your child, but you still have to be a parent first. You have to be a parent first. And if you are a parent first, and if you're really paying attention to everything that, see, I got away with a whole bunch of shit when I was growing up because my mom did not pay attention to me like she should have. I got in some bad predicaments when I was growing up. It could have been much worse. I shouldn't even be here today. I shouldn't even be here today. But God. But God. Okay, I ain't about to get all religious on y'all and shit, but God. But I feel like the closer you have a relationship to your child, even though you still have to be a parent, you still got to have ground rules. You still got to you got your chores. You better take your ass to school. Don't disrespect me. Don't, you know what I'm saying? I still go upside your, okay, okay. But yeah, you have to have that open door policy because I do believe that a lot of children wouldn't find themselves in such predicaments if you did. And I'm not telling her story. She told her story. I'm just saying, from my perspective, my point of view of growing up without that type of mother figure in my life, I was out there doing shit. I knew I shouldn't be fucking with niggas. I knew I shouldn't be fucking with in places I knew I shouldn't have been. But it was like, once I got a certain age, I got tired of going to church all the time. And I mean, I would get like little jobs at Burger King, just anything to get the fuck away from the house, to not have to go to church. Mama, I gotta work. Bitch ain't gotta work all week. I ain't even on the motherfucking schedule. I gotta work. And my mom never really asked for money or nothing like that when I would get paid. So, I would give her like a little bit. Here, mom, put this on something, whatever. Back then we was only making like $4 or something an hour. But I would lie. I would always lie. I would lie. I'm going up my homegirl's house. Lying. We over here at some nigga's house. We over here at an all-night party. We over here in somebody's basement with somebody's little boy. Like, we was doing all kind of shit growing up. And it was like everybody was doing it. So in our eyes back then, I'm not even going to lie, a lot of times it didn't even seem wrong because everybody was doing it. Everybody was doing it. But again, we put too much on the girls. Oh, they fast. Like they do the same shit with R. Kelly's and the Diddy's and all them. Oh, them girls know better. They should have been at home in bed. They should be somewhere, with their little friends. Hold on, let me make sure this is my girl. Hey, boo.
It's me. Happy New Year, Hood Table.
Happy New Year. We got, 27 more days to say that?
I don't know how many more days, but I ain't told you that yet. So, well, I told you that up in my chat, but not person to person. But
Yes.
Hood Table, hi. I'm really disappointed, and my heart is very heavy right now.
Oh, Lord.
As many times as we done did commentary about the Diddy's and the R. Kelly's and how they need to go to jail and the Bill Cosby and the Harvey Weinstein, for the life of me, I don't get why now all of a sudden this influx of women are saying that they did the same thing. But for the last 5 years, they've been on here doing commentary about this. If y'all was fucking older men, then why y'all was mad at Aaliyah?
Again, I never said it was wrong. I mean, I have never said it was right. I never said it was right. But the difference is, excuse me, and is this kind of me? I just want to make sure that's you. Kind to me. I think she was having some
Hey,
connection.
hey guys,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Day.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah, that's it. Here we go. Okay, so the difference is when it comes to and predators are everywhere. They at school, they in the church, they in our families, they everywhere. The difference is with the R. Kellys and the P. Diddy's, it's not just having sex with them. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
just having sex with them. They
Mm-hmm.
were beating them. They were locking them up. They were, I mean, brainwashing them. They were doing so much shit. They had like cults and shit going on. They weren't
But
just having sex because
but
that's
when
always gonna happen.
but hold up, hood table, because when you underage, like 14, 15, 16 years old, they brainwashed you for you to have sex with them to begin with because they groomed you. Grooming is a form of brainwashing.
It is. If you're being
So
groomed,
so
if
so
you're
you
being groomed,
well, it sounds
be-
like based on the stories that I done heard, so many of the people say, not just you, but I done heard a lot of people, and I'm like, wow, y'all
but
really was doing this type of stuff.
but it doesn't mean you were being groomed. If I'm 15 years old and I'm fucking a nigga who's grown, I'm just keeping it funky. And I'm out there, what up, nigga? What you doing? That's your shit. Come on, let's ride. Yeah, I'm going with you. And we get to fucking later on in the night. He didn't groom me. You see, it's a difference. Grooming is taking
But I
small
think he
trials
did
who
groom you.
don't know
He
any
groomed
better.
you to get your trust.
No,
The whole point of
he didn't
grooming is
groom
to
me.
gain your trust.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Just like Catherine said, she went after him. It's a difference. That is not grooming, Jay Dunn. Grooming is taking a child, buying them stuff, spoiling stuff. Don't tell your mama. You starting off doing all these little things and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's grooming. You just getting out there jumping in some nigga in the car and y'all going to fuck. That ain't grooming. That's your ass being fast and you trying to get the dick. Now he shouldn't have gave you the dick.
Hmm.
He should have turned it down. But I was never groomed. Never.
I
I was
disagree
just
because
out.
now I'm looking at everybody like criminals. I know damn well people wasn't calling me criminals and shit, but y'all was fucking criminals when y'all was 14, 15 years old.
Girl, everybody was. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody because I'm sure you probably wasn't. And there's certain people
Sure
who
the fuck
wasn't.
what?
You wasn't, but there was
No.
a lot of people who was.
Yeah, so I mean it's interesting. It's almost like what I done seen in the beef sector today is a whole Me Too movement. Catherine Powell came out here talk about how much 15-year-old that slut she was, and now everybody coming through saying Me Too, Me Too,
And see,
Me
that's
Too,
why
Me
I
Too.
came to talk about it, but I came to mainly talk about it because, again, it's always going to be a predator out there, even over little boys. I done had men tell me stories about shit they've been through too. They out there trying to, they don't know what they doing. They just out there. They know they feel a certain way. Like they was talking about, I can't remember whose panel was on, but they like girls and guys, they get to a certain age, they hit that puberty, and they just be out there just want to do shit. And sometimes it don't matter who you doing the shit with. That's why I came out here because it seemed like they was putting just too much on her. I was like, damn. Okay, yeah, she went after the nigga. But like I said, he didn't have to say okay. In the end, it's always the adult who's wrong. In the end, it's always the adult who's wrong. Yeah, predators on both sides, Miss Hogg. Mm-hmm.
I'm mad that Deanna has the same birthday as me and she out here talk about Me Too. Girl, I
What?
thought you was better than that.
Girl, Deanna, you better tell her. Shit, girl, I ain't never dated a motherfucker back in the day who didn't have his own shit. I mean, like, we at the apartment. Shit, mama ain't know. But shit, groom where? Like, what's I'm over there.
Lord,
I want
please.
these. I'm telling him what I want. I want these new shoes. I want this, that, and that. I'm grooming his ass, if anything. Shit, nigga. But no, it's bad, Jay. It really is bad. But I'm just saying it happens, and it happens to a lot of people. Now, the one thing that a lot of people hate with the Harveys and the things like that, it's like this
Mm-hmm.
control thing they had. I mean, we talking fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids and recording them, putting them on videotape, forcing them to have threesomes, forcing them to do. I mean, he pissing on motherfuckers. This is a lot different. The
But
scale
see,
so bigger.
but hood table, I get you. And I'm looking at Deanna. She said she was 12 in the 8th grade, and her boyfriend was 16. But
And
I
she
just
stayed with
witnessed
him until
y'all.
he was 21. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I just witnessed y'all for the last 4 months drag Krista with her old ass for dealing with Lemon. But y'all was dealing with old motherfuckers before.
Oh,
So
I
all y'all
definitely wasn't
hypocrites.
dragging her. I wasn't dragging her for being with him. I was dragging her for looking like a dumbass on here. Like you was too grown to be acting like you 12 or 14 with your first boyfriend. Like, bitch.
Y'all was saying about how Crystal was in her 50s and that Lemon was too young. Many of the women was trying to act like they was Lemon mama. But meanwhile, now most of the women that tried to act like they was Lemon mama, and tell Krista to get away, they was doing the same thing. Except they was damn in elementary school and shit.
You're right.
Like
You're
that's
right about
crazy.
that. You're right. There were some women who were out here dragging her because she's like old enough to be his grandma. You're right. There were people out here. But I mean, that's always going to be a thing too. It's always going to be a
Right.
sugar mama and a sugar daddy. And but then it was her whole behavior that I didn't like. And I still don't like. Now she chilled out. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what she's doing over there now. She's chilled out, but it was her behavior coming on here
Hmm.
whining and crying. Just like I said, I told who was I talking to the other day? I think that remember that was me, you and Rick. Was that my panel? We was on
Um, it might have been. I
and
know I talked to you and Riggs recently on Riggs panel on Wednesday night, but
maybe
if it was
maybe
before
that was
that,
Rick's panel. Okay, that was probably Rick's
okay.
Rick's panel. And I was
Mhm.
like the things, some of the things that she was doing on here, it was like y'all want us to believe this is true, but y'all can't even make it true. Y'all can't even make it believable. Like
Mhm.
that's the whole thing I hated with the storyline. Not only do we know it's a play, but y'all just putting 20 on 10. You up here acting like this nigga really breaking your heart. You up here talking to 5, 10 different people in a 3 month span. I mean, it was like, come on
Mhm.
now. Tyler Perry ain't even this. Come on now. But yeah, I never had a
Right.
problem with her age. That part I didn't. I had a problem with the whole like sit your ass down. You was embarrassing yourself. It was all about the secondhand embarrassment for me.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I wouldn't have been me if I didn't come up here and just express my disappointment.
I'm glad
But
you
you
came up
know,
here. You know I always appreciate you coming through.
yeah, because I don't. When I tell you, I just been listening into so many different lives and hearing people now coming out saying they did this, and I'm like, but how y'all condemn these? Like, cause it sounds like y'all was having Diddy freak offs before it was a Diddy freak off.
Girl, when I was having free calls, it was just with one nigga though. Shit, it wasn't with Diddy and his whole posse.
Girl, that's just sad. It's not
It
sad
is
that you did
sad.
it, but
It
it's
is
sad to me. It's sad to me. Cause I'm like, what?
It's sad,
But
Jada,
yeah.
and that's why I was saying earlier. I don't know what time you came in or when, but I was saying earlier, with my sons, I always were on them, like always on them when they was growing up, because I know, like, if you give your children too much space, kids always gonna do shit behind your back, always, no matter how tight you think
Mhm.
you got a leash on them. But if you give them too much space, they gonna be just out there just wilding out, and we already don't know what they doing 100% of the time. So that's why I was saying a lot of times with some of these kids out here, we might not have been groomed per se. We might have been fast and just hot in the ass and whatever, just want to date an older nigga. But sometimes it might be a girl out there who's being forced to do this, forced to do that. She really is being groomed. She's really either way is wrong. For an older person to fuck with a child is wrong. And it's sad that
Mhm.
it'll never go away. That's the sad part. Even with my grandbaby now, Jay, child, you
Mhm.
know what I told my son when my baby was born?
What?
I said every time he come home, you check his ass.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Many people won't say that to their children about their children. But you check him every time he comes home. I don't care if it's from daycare. I don't care if it's from his other grandmas. I don't care if it's from my house. You make
Mhm.
sure that baby is the same way he left your house, and you always do that. Always. Always make sure your baby is okay because predators are everywhere. And especially with little kids who have no voice yet, they don't know how to describe stuff and explain stuff and say a whole sentence. They don't know how to say,
Uh
so
huh.
so touch me in the rose spot, until they get to that age. And you still talk to them all through youth. You still make sure you have that open policy. Anybody do something to you, anybody fuck with you, you better let me know. I ain't one of those parents who just gonna slide shit under the rug like they used to do back in the day. But yeah, I told him that.
Right.
He never even would have thought about it. But then he was like, damn, mom, you was really on us about that shit growing up, especially in sports and being at our coaches' houses and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, as soon as they get home, you all right? They used to laugh at me because
Mhm.
I used to make it like jokey, but they knew I was serious. Like, did that motherfucking coach try to do something to you in midnight? Nigga, you better tell me something because I will take that motherfucking nine. They be like, no, mom, come on. We would tell you, man, come on. Or we, man, they ain't gonna fuck with us. We beat their ass. It was like they knew I'm serious, but I try to, lightheartedly, like, I'm playing, but I ain't playing, you know? But
Mhm.
yeah, you gotta, with
Mhm.
these kids, you have to, Jay. You have to. Just make
But
sure
yeah,
it's
and
the
that's the reason why.
right
That's the reason why I ain't got none. Cause I be
person.
good, goddamn.
It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. It's scary because this world is crazy. It's always been crazy, and it always will be
Mhm.
crazy. And we can only do so much. We can't be everywhere. We can only do so much. But yeah. Hey Miss
Right.
Queenie, how you doing? How you doing, boo? But yeah, if
And where
anybody wants
Kind
to
to
use
Me
the channel,
go?
feel free. Hmm?
I was saying,
I
where
don't
Kind to
know.
Me go? I thought somebody else had came up too.
Yeah, kind of me came up and you weren't even up here talking that long. So I don't know if she had to rush off or if she's coming back. Verbal Assassin Deanna said, you about need a baby, Jada. That child will be spoiled. Oh, Deanna, that child will be spoiled if she had one. You already know.
Absolutely not. Not after today. After I done listened to all of y'all sneaky mofos. Y'all sneaky as hell, and I ain't got time for that up in my life. I ain't got time.
every
Uh-uh.
child ain't like
No.
that. Every child don't go through the same thing.
Well, it sounds like most of y'all do, but up until Catherine Powell came out here, y'all wasn't talking about this crazy ass shit. It is
Girl.
crazy to me how y'all talk about it's crazy when we look at it in pop culture and when we look at it in the media and we
I
look at it
mean,
across history. But y'all did the same shit. That is
but
crazy.
see, the thing
And
is,
I'm
Jay,
not placing judgment. I'm just shocked at the amount of people that's saying that this happened. Because at the
but
end
you
of the
know
day,
what?
what y'all really saying is that pedophilia really was a thing and y'all
Yes.
partook in it even though y'all was on the other end of it. And that's
Yes,
crazy.
absolutely. It is crazy. But see, the thing is, just because people are talking about it now don't mean they never have. I spoke of my shit on here. I've been online for 7 years, channel to channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I done told
Mm-hmm.
stories. Every now and then I get transparent. I tell stories and they never change. I talk
Uh-huh.
about this to friends and family. I mean, it's not like we don't talk about it, but when it comes to on here, Jay, you already know how it is, especially in the B sector.
Right. I do.
I can say something right now, and 10 minutes later, somebody can strike up a lie. Girl, I was over there and I heard, yeah, girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's not like it used to be back in the day where we could sit here and we could talk to our supporters about any and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff we've been through, we might not tell y'all, but people do know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think it's crazy. I actually, before I came over here, I left another live. That's why I'm just outdone that I came over here and you talking about the same thing. I
Girl,
left another
because
live and I was over there doing like what was we? We was doing like a debate and like what was crazy about it was the women over there. Well, I will say the women, most of the women were like, "This is unacceptable." It was a couple of women that said they did it, but then it was men that were saying that they dealt with older women as well when they was like 12 years old,
Hmm.
and the damn woman was like 20 something, and they thought that they had street cred,
You
and
know
I'm
what?
like, this crazy. It's
You
crazy.
know what? Let me tell you something. And hold on, let me read these comments. What's up, Envy? I don't know if you're still
Okay.
in here, but what's up, Envy? Shout out to Envy. And Miss Queenie said, I always dated guys in my age group up to 3 years older. Much older guys always creep me out. Plus, I'm a victim of SA at a young age. I understand that. I understand that. My husband is 3 weeks older than me. I definitely understand that, especially if you've been through certain things as a youngster. I definitely understand that. I really do. Now, one thing I gotta say, Jay, is one of my I have a family member who he was him and his homeboys, they used to, hang out and they would, they was in gangs. They, like you said, thought
Mhm.
they was, what I'm saying, they out there in the streets, think they doing shit. And one of them met
Right.
a girl and they got to kicking it and they kicked it and then he didn't see her again, right? So years down the line, that girl ends up getting sick. She has some type of cancer and she had a baby.
Mhm.
And so that girl must have been just out there doing all kind of shit when she was younger because at that time she was trying to find out who her baby was before she died.
Right.
And while we get my family member got a letter in the mail talking about paternity tests. I was one of the first ones who found out because they sent me a picture and they said, "Do this look like such and such?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "When he have a baby, oh, he's so cute. He looked like his twin." Girl, I'm not knowing the whole story. So come to find out, that boy was only 13. She was 18. But she was out there doing whatever. She ended up getting pregnant, but she didn't know who the baby daddy was. And that probably would have always been the story. But then she got
Mhm.
sick. And before she left this world, she wanted to make sure her son knew who his father was. So she went through all these guys and finally got down to him, said it couldn't be him. He's too young.
Girl, that's a
Imagine that.
mess. Yeah. That's
Imagine you go through
crazy.
all these older guys and you got one left. She knew how old she was. She knew how old he was, but he didn't know that she was grown.
Mhm.
And then when his parents got the letter in the mail, they looked at it and said, "That's your baby." She died maybe a month later. So, of course, it ended well. The child, got to be raised with his family, raised around us, his cousins, nephew. You know what I'm saying? I love the boy. I love the boy. And I would have been so pissed off if he was to grow up without us, without his cousins, and without, you know what I'm saying? But
Right. Right.
that boy, when his mama found out, she wanted to press charges. I mean, she was enraged. But she knew the little boy was her grandson, and the mother was only had days left. So of course she didn't perceive
Right.
it. She just welcomed the boy, and it's been like that ever since. And now he's grown and he got his own family. You know what I'm saying? That boy. And he's still, around us. Holidays, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, women be doing that shit
But
too.
well,
Mhm.
but I guess this is the part that's making it hard for me to stomach, and it's not just because of all of y'all, but it's just to know that it's really that accepted because no matter how you slice it, for everybody that's running out here talking about this Me Too thing, so y'all are actually saying that y'all were victims of rape because y'all were not of the age to consent. And so all I've been hearing today is women on YouTube that's adamantly saying, "Yeah, I was great. Oh yeah, I was great. I was great." Glorifying the great. because none of y'all were the age to consent to any of this stuff. And I
That's
guess
true.
that's
It
the
was
part that's
statutory.
hard to wrap my brain around because I've never
Mm-hmm.
experienced a day on YouTube and in the beef sector where I hear so many people talk about grape.
And that's because a lot of people don't want to tell their story on YouTube, especially in this sector. Like a lot of people don't. But yeah, it's a lot of statutory shit that went on because there's different levels of that, right? Statutory
Mm-hmm.
is where they didn't like choke you out, put a gun to you, they didn't beat you down and take it. You know what I'm saying? It was two consenting. Well, I don't want to say consenting because the adult is always the adult, but it wasn't like it was forced. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of statutory goes on and it still goes on to this day. And that's why I am so like, even with my nieces and nephews and with my grandbaby who's 3 now, I'll be like on that shit. I mean, I'm telling you, I was always protected with my sons. They used to get sick of it, but now they know better and they know I'm the same way with their kids. Before my baby was even born, and I say my baby, my child, and my son, we be laughing about it all the time. Mama, you act like he yours. He is mine. Without me, there's no you. There's no him. He is mine. That's my child. You know what I'm saying? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't do it like what I mean. Like I'm over there trying to run their house. It ain't like that. It's just my baby and I love him. That's my grandbaby. He's mine. You know what I'm saying? And he already knew
Right.
before he was born. He told my baby before, and I said when I say my baby, people know I'll be talking about my grandbaby. But he told my baby before he was even born in his mama belly, this is your crazy grandma. You just gotta deal with it. She's really,
Mm-hmm.
overprotective. And after he was born, same thing. She's always gonna be like that. It's who she is. And they know they can't change that about me. Like I'm always gonna be protective, like really protective over my family members, especially the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah, and that somebody was like, I ain't never heard this before. Of course I have, but I didn't know that so many people really been doing all this. Like I had no clue that that many
Yeah,
people.
Jada, you know what? Somebody in the chat said, and thank you for the cash. I'm about to say cash app. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Thank you, Deanna. And kind for me, you need to come back up. You just left us up here. Big Red Slap said, it's the hood, baby. You better know it, boo. You better know this, man. What up? Envy said, hold up. Did y'all have a rule that when my kids stay somewhere and they cut child back in the day, yeah, back in the day. But you got to be careful now, Envy. You can't let everybody touch your children, even if it's a spanking, even if your kids was showing out. Because some people, Jay, I don't know if you ever got a spanking. Some kids never got spanking, but there's a spanking and a
Oh,
beating, and then
absolutely.
there's spanking with love. Like I used to whoop my kids. I ain't gonna lie. I had 2 boys. I used to whoop their asses and then like sit down with them 2 minutes later. You know why I did that? If you didn't do that, even to this day, even with Cameron, who was on the live earlier talking shit, my youngest son before he left for his date, he up here talking about, damn, y'all was some gold diggers back in the day, mama. I'm like, yeah, we was, but no, even with him, like they
Mm-hmm.
know. Jay, you wasn't here when Cam was on here, did you? Were you?
No, I did. I heard your
He's
son
so
talking in the
crazy.
background, but I didn't know who that was talking initially, but I figured it was one of your sons.
Yeah, that's my son Cam. But yeah, they know like of course they grew up with me. I would sit down and tell them I did this because of that. Even to this day, Cam's older. He still stay at home. And I'll be like, I wouldn't have cussed your ass out if you didn't take out the fucking trash. If you would have took out the fucking trash and the trash ain't still sitting here for another week, I would have cussed your ass out. Mama, no dang. All right then, shit. You know, when you have children, even if they get in trouble and you spank them, you still have to sit down. You have to talk to them, explain to them what they did, what they didn't do. But you gotta do it out
Right.
of love. You can't just beat your damn kid and tell them go in your fucking room. I don't want to see your motherfucking face. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Mm-hmm.
different way to chastise a child. It's different ways to chastise a child. And in
Right.
hindsight, most of us, when we grow up in hindsight, we'd be like, damn, I wouldn't have got in so much trouble if I would just did this, if I would have just did that. But you know, a lot of times when they was growing up, I didn't have to do anything but take a video game or a cell phone. What? You didn't do your
Right.
homework? Okay, you're not starting next week. But the coach, mama, I don't give a fuck. I didn't pull my kids out of games at the game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pull them. I didn't bench my kids before at games, and the coach be up there begging and pleading, please, we need them to start. Nope. He got a D in what? And I told him to stay after school in the library to finish that what? And you got him out here playing? They know. And my boys are 4 years apart. And they always went to
Mm-hmm.
the same school, following behind each other. So every time the next one got to the school, they already knew who I was. Oh, that's such and such brother. Oh, Lord. We already know who his mama is, and she don't play.
So you
So,
got
yeah.
two sons, Hood Table?
Yep.
Two. Okay.
Two
Yeah.
boys.
Because I mean, I get that, and yeah, I got whoopings all the time whenever I was younger. And me and my mama, we always used to talk about what happened, and why I had to get my whooping. So I get that. So I get discipline a child. I guess I'm just mind blown that 'cause it just seemed like it's like what Teresa
Somebody even
say. It's
said
a
to
lot
you,
going on.
did you see what somebody said to you in the chat?
Oh, let me look.
Hold up. What Deanna say? Hold up. Somebody messing with Deanna in the chat. She said, dangerous woman, you sucking my pussy in QB chat. You want to see me in real? Hold up. A crusty, what? Who is that? Oh, Deanna. You didn't block them? Deanna.
I ain't even.
Are you being
I
trolled in
didn't
my
even see.
chat? Deanna, are you being trolled in my chat? And you didn't block their ass? Now it's okay to have your opinions in the chat and to have disagreements, but you're definitely not gonna harass and troll my moderators. They have they have every right to block your ass. I don't care who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
Deanna, that's on you. Block them if you want to, girl. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. I don't even know. I've seen that name before, I think, in chats. But you're just not gonna come over here and be dragging my moderators in my chat. No, we don't do the Rodney over here.
Not the Rodney.
No, we don't do the Rodney over here. Mm-mm. I'm serious about that. And one thing I wanted to say to Rod, speaking of that, Jay, one thing
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say to that about Rodney, how he always complains to Lemon about people, the moderators doing certain things to him, and even people in the chat. Why would you even want a mod stick over there? That's what I have to
Hmm.
say to Rodney. Why do you keep going through this over and over and over again where you plead in your case with Lemon about his supporters dragging you, trolling you, and you got a mod stick? Is that mod stick that important?
Right.
Shit, it ain't like you getting paid to do it. I would have been a Lemon take my mod stick. It wouldn't even be no back and forth, no argument or nothing like that. I don't understand. I don't. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was on somebody channel, but I can't remember whose channel I was on, and they was talking about Rodney. Cause I honestly done been everywhere today, and I just been in disbelief listening to everybody. But I did have to get up here and just tell you I can't believe not
That's what I was about to
because I
tell you,
understand
Jay.
stuff like this happen. It does happen, but it's just crazy because now it just seems like a lot of people knew that shit was wrong, but ain't say nothing. But then they'll turn
Saying
around and be
stubborn
like,
for that
"Well,
shit.
don't touch my kid. If you do this to my kid, don't yell at my kid." But y'all was kids doing this crazy
But
ass
and that's
shit.
why I say there's nothing new under the sun. Jay, you don't have kids, but I know you have been involved as a mother. I know you like to call yourself a grown ass man, but you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
in
I have
a
stood in.
parental, yeah. So you've been in that situation where you had a child in your care or whatever, or you was dating their mom, whatever. There's nothing new
Mm-hmm.
under the sun. Just like the same shit our parents told us. When you get older, you're gonna realize, mama. When I got older, I'm saying the same shit. that my mama used to say to me, my son, when he got older, hey mama, man, I wish. It's like you can tell somebody today, blue in the face, not to do this. This is
Mm-hmm.
going to hurt you in the long run. As kids, sometimes we just don't listen. And then in hindsight, we look back and be like, damn, mama was mean or she was strict or she was, but she knew what she was. I tell my kids all the time, even to this day, like my son, my
Mm-hmm.
youngest one, he got hurt at work. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he has issues with them not letting him off if he's in pain. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so
Uh-huh.
I told him, just from experience and being an older person, you don't let them motherfuckers at Nan job disrespect you, mistreat you, abuse you, or try to run over you. This is what you do. You tell them that if they don't handle this, you're going to go over them. You want to talk to them. So you're going to go all the way to corporate on their asses. Next thing I know, he get a text message. Okay, you can have the day off. But by the way, just let us know when your next doctor appointment is. He's like, damn, mom. That's all I'm like, one thing about a good parent, we ain't gonna never steer you wrong. We always look out for your
Mm-hmm.
best interest. But will children always listen? Nope. And that's why the shit will never end. It'll never end. And it's sad. That's the really sad part. Even after we're long gone, Jay, it's still gonna be some
Mm-hmm.
older person fucking with somebody's kid. It'll never.
Right. And I want to say, because I saw Deanna question. So Deanna, no. So my first official girlfriend I had in the 11th grade, and she was in the 11th grade with me. Now, it was always rumors that me and my best friend was together, but that really wasn't true. But people spread those rumors about us. But me and my best friend were both in the same grade. Then yeah, 11th grade, I had my first girlfriend. Then I had my next girlfriend when I was a freshman in college. So no, this right here, like how y'all was fast trying to deal with these grown folks, I'm shocked by y'all because that just,
But you see
I
what
mean,
somebody
I
said
don't,
in the chat, right?
what?
Like, here it is. Character. What up, character? Character said, well, you don't know what it's called until you older. And that's how it was for me. I just knew I like that older dude. Fuck that nigga fine as fuck. Oh my god, he driving this. Look at the whip. He got the rim. Oh my god. And then when I'm older, of course I'm like, that nigga knew he shouldn't have been. It's like it's hard to believe sometimes that it can happen, but it happens everywhere and so much. Jay, it's kind of like so cliche. It's like I don't know. Again, like my
Mm-hmm.
title says, nothing new under the sun. And Envy said, Hood Table made sure her kids were where they were supposed. Not all the time now, Envy. They done got over on me a few times. They done got up just like I used to get over my mama. They done got over on me a few times, but they never did anything really, really, really serious. Like really serious, like life changing or jeopardizing their life, or so it might have been out they with their friends smoking weed or they had a drink, or it was never nothing really bad. Really bad. And my kids, we did have like an open policy. And even to this day, they'll be like, man, remember when we did this, bro? And yeah, mom didn't know. I'll be like, yo, all right, whatever. Wait till you have a kid. That's what I tell
Yeah,
them.
and I can say because Deanna was like the older person. The oldest woman that I ever dated was when I was 22 and she was 31. But hell, I was 22. So even though she was 9 years older than me, I was grown at that point, or at least in my mind I was. But I'm just shocked. This stuff, I guess,
Girl,
I
it
don't know.
happens
Maybe I.
everywhere. Pastors. Oh, somebody in the chat. Hold up, Miss Sislo. Hey, baby. Sislo said my cousin was great by her teacher. Man, when I tell you, I used to work at McDonald's, right? Excuse me. I was working at McDonald's, and I used to work at Burger King too. And then I switched. How some Burger Kings and McDonald's right across the street or like within a block. Girl, I would flip flop my ass back and forth. Get tired of the bitches at McDonald's, I go over to Burger King. Get tired of motherfuckers, I go back and try to get my job back at McDonald's. I was just always, they literally right across the street for like a street away, okay? 5
Mm-hmm.
lanes away. But at the McDonald's, when I was younger, there was this guy, and he was a nasty little son of a gun. He was older. He was a whole grown up. and he was the manager, and he tried to fuck every teenage girl in the motherfucking store. I mean, the shit just happens. It's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be it. The only thing that we can try to do with our children, especially when they start hitting puberty and they start feeling all these different things and they start being really attracted to the opposite sex or same sex, you just gotta make sure you have an open door policy and talk to them. Be willing to listen. Like you ever see it on TV shows or movies, Jay? And they be like, "Oh my God, I gotta have to talk to my kid. Oh, I don't want to have to talk." It's kind of
Yeah.
hard. It's kind of hard for some parents to talk to their kids about that type of stuff.
Right.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I think that based on what I got too, like I said, it's the difference when it comes to how the boys are treated versus how the girls are treated. It seems like the boys could do this type of stuff all out in the open and nobody cares, but then the girls have to sneak around like what you telling me. It just lets me see that society is just fucked up.
It is.
Um,
Hmm.
and I don't know how I feel about that, especially with Trump on the horizon. I don't know. It's just very overwhelming. It's
It
very
is.
overwhelming because I'm just like, this is crazy.
It's very crazy, and it's really hard. The hardest things I ever did besides giving birth was raising two kids and trying to keep
Hmm.
them above ground, out of gangs. And when I tell you, a lot of times my kids were out of sight around my family because I done told this story
Hmm.
before. On all sides, it was either Bloods or Crips or something else. My side,
Hmm.
my stepdad's side, my bio parents' side. It was a lot of people, a lot of us was in the gangs and in and out of jail and whatever, whatever, right? So it's really hard trying to raise my kids to not try to, because it's like when your kids is young and everybody around you is like hood and thugs and all this kind of shit. Like they see that shit, right? And it's hard to tell your kid, don't join a gang. When all your cousins walking around with red rags hanging out their pocket. And they fighting and
Uh-huh.
singing and hustling and banging and everything. I mean, it's like, girl, we used to have drama on top of drama in our family growing up. But from my point of perspective, it was all fun and it was all good. Even after I had kids, I would just be like, they at a school event. They why you don't never bring your kids around? Cuz they with their daddy. They It was so funny. My kids will always be like, "Hey, mom, why can't we always go with you over such and such?" Because they just, my mom tried to do the same thing with me growing up. She tried to keep me
Hmm.
away from certain people's households because she knew the motherfuckers was crazy. So I tried my
Hmm.
best raising my kids out of the gangs. I kept them like one of my cousins, one of my boy cousins was like, "Man, cuz how you gonna keep them kids playing sports all fucking year long? They play sports in the spring, in the fall, when school start back. Then you got them playing sports in the summer too. They don't get no break." I said, "Well, they ain't out here like some of our other kid little cousins in the family, in and out of jail and robbing stores and breaking into schools and all that kind of other shit. I'd rather for them to play
Right.
sports all year than." So I did the best I could for my boys, Jay. It's the hardest fucking thing in the world to raise kids and turn them into productive, respectable citizens. Especially when
Right.
I call myself a single mom, but not because they live with me mainly 99% of the time or 90% of the time. And went over their dad's house like on
Hmm.
the weekends and of course holidays. And their dads was around for sporting events, school events, parent teacher, you know what I'm saying? But when the child is with
Uh-huh.
you all the time, it's mainly your responsibility to mold them. And usually, even though they have fathers who might be paying child support, might see them all, on the weekends, every other week, whatever, a lot of pressure still is on the mother in the house. If something happens to their kids, well, where was their mama at? What do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
So to raise a kid and keep them from being shot or killed or in a gang or just a lazy ass kid with 15 kids running around the city, just what I'm saying, it's the hardest thing in the world. It's the hardest thing in the world. But what's even harder is to help keep them from getting their heart broke, help keeping them from being great or taken advantage of, because we cannot have our eyes on them 100% of the time. So that's why I strongly urge and insist people to keep that open door policy with their children. So they might not become one of those teenagers who's with a 30-year-old man. a R.
Right.
Kelly or a Diddy or a you know. But we ain't nobody perfect. Ain't no perfect parent. Ain't no perfect kid. Yeah, you got to keep them boys busy, kind of me. I did it, boy. I swear to God. But I did it so much till they got to the point that's all they thought about. They breathed, slept, ate, sports. That's all they thought about. So if they ever was to get in trouble or have bad grades or something like that, or didn't do their chores or something like that, all I have to say is, I guess you ain't going to practice today. Mom, if I don't go to practice, I can't play 3 games. Mom, if I... Oh, well, So yeah, when you keep them that involved into something they really love, it's a little less easier, but still they got those influences out there everywhere.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it happens.
and that's why I just think that parenting is not for me. Y'all done did the most today. I'm mad at Catherine Powell. I did not need her to bring this bullshit to no sector. Cause the Mo three sector talking about it, the black sector and the B sector, everybody talking about
Yep.
this, and across the board, all of y'all saying that y'all did this type of stuff, and I'm just like, well, I don't know,
But
maybe
you
I'm
know
just
what?
more what?
You know what? It's funny because it came out before, and I was telling people earlier. I said I was watching Sincere, and I heard Jay say that she probably didn't hear about it because you were blocked on JWs, and you probably didn't hear about it. I said, but a lot of us heard this story before, several times, in fact, before. But
Oh,
it's now she felt the need to bring it up just because of everything that's going on right now. And she
mm-hmm.
felt the need to talk about it. She hit Bree's panel. She was like, hold up, first of all, I wasn't with no pastor or something. See, what had happened was that
Mm-hmm.
she went through the whole story, and everybody over there was like, "Gang, like what? You was with a
That's
whole
crazy.
man? What?" Mm-mm-mm.
That's crazy.
It is
But
crazy. Hold on, let me read Envy's. Okay. Envy said Hood
okay.
Table came to the principal's office in a robe and slippers. We were more scared of our friends seeing mama. You know what? I never, and I ain't no Beyonce or anything, but I always made sure I came to my kids' school looking fly. Okay. Everything matched from nails to sneaks, hoodies. I ain't no girly girl, but I'm a tomboy, but I always try to represent because I hate when my kids don't represent me when they go out. Like, hold up, where was we at on Christmas? We over at my godmother's house. My son say, "Mama, why you got that on?" I said, "What you mean? It's Christmas. I whatever. I'm relaxed. If I would have came out the house looking like that, Mama, you would have had my neck." You know what I'm saying? I like hearing that shit from a 27-year-old child. Like, okay, you got to represent me. But anyway, I
Right.
never came up there with my hair and rollers or any of that shit. Matter of fact, I done told y'all the story before. I was actually banned for like 3 months from all of the high schools in our district because some shit had popped off at a basketball game. And I ran up
But
on the coach and we got
how was
into
you
it.
been?
I
Wait a
got into it
second.
with a coach, and we got into it, and they had to drag me out. The police had to drag me out that motherfucker. And 3 days later, I was in the principal's office. And they was like, well, we had a meeting and we talked to the school board and they saw the footage and you can't come to any more games for the rest of the season. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. Girl, I used to be hot
In
headed.
the and what and where you say you from again? Wasn't in Nebraska?
Right.
People be acting up like that in Nebraska.
See, y'all have to stop thinking Nebraska is Nebraska. We have cities,
It just
we have communities, we have hoods. The whole state of Nebraska is not all cows and corn.
I'm
which is
just
what
like,
which is
look,
what a lot of people believe. I mean, look up J Dunn. When you get some free sign, look up the history of gangs in Omaha. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? This is in Nebraska.
okay.
We're not. We're a whole city. We're the biggest city in the state. So of course we're gonna have everything that you can imagine, like any other bigger city. We're not big as LA. We're not big as the Shot. We're not big as the ATL. But we're just a
Hmm.
regular city We got gangs, we got drugs, we got hoes, we got pimps, we got teachers, we got some of the richest people in the fucking United States from Warren Buffett on down. We got movie stars that came out here. You know, Gabrielle Union came from here. You might not know
Yeah,
that.
that's what you was telling me about. You told me about Gabrielle over here. I didn't know it until you mentioned it to me.
Gabrielle Union,
Um,
look
mhm.
her up. Every time she has interviews, she always be like, "Yeah, from Omaha, yeah, Corn Huskers." Her and her husband always be at the Husker games. Her and Wade, they always been.
Yeah, you was talking about the family
Her
reunion thing
grandparents,
that they
yeah,
have.
her
Something about a family
grandparents,
reunion.
her mom, they still live in the hood. Like they still live in the hood. So when we have like Omaha Days, which I always go live from Omaha Days there every 2 years, I mean, she be sitting down there in the hood late at night with her crew, with her family members,
Hmm.
and we be like, "What up, Gabby?" What I mean, like she's from here. She's from here, and every like I done showed the cakes with their family name on them that I've made. They're one of her
Hmm.
cousins, who's Mark. He's a very, very good friend of mine. Every time they have reunions, every time they have Christmas, holidays, I'm the one who makes their desserts. In every cake, it says the dozens of cousins, 100-year family reunion, 101st year, 100. I've been doing they desserts for a long time. But yeah,
Hmm.
she's part of the dozens of cousins from our city. Yeah.
Hmm.
A lot of people that came out of here, but people be like, if black people live there in the back, I hate hearing that shit, especially in 2020, motherfucking, what is it, 2025 now?
What now? We in 2025.
I'm like, and y'all be like, the black people, girl, I'm like, y'all need to fucking stop. Y'all need to fucking stop.
Well, I mean, it's just. I guess Omaha is just one of those. Or excuse me, not Omaha, but Nebraska. I think Nebraska and like Connecticut, those are like those two states that you kind of just forget about because they just
Do you
somewhere.
remember the Wild
But it's
Kingdom?
Wild
You
Kingdom.
remember that
What's
TV
that?
show? It was a TV show. Come on once a week
It was
called
on
The Wild
Nickelodeon.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's called The
I have
Wild
to look it
Kingdom.
up.
But anyway, back in the day. It was a lot of representation of our state all the time, not just of our cities throughout the state. It
Hmm.
was always like a representation of the state, like the beef
Okay.
capital of the world. This is where the Union Pacific started. I mean, a lot of shit came out of here. We were like the telemarketing
Hmm.
capital of the world back in the day when
Hmm.
everybody did things by ordering online and ordering over the phone or whatever. But it's a lot of things back in the day that just represented the whole state as a whole. And only like recently, over maybe the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years, they focus more on our individualism of the cities. But for people who don't really know, like a lot of celebrities come here. They slide through all the time. 50 Cent. I mean, they slide through here. They be in our clubs. They be in our restaurants. It's low key. You won't run up somewhere and have 1,000 people trying to, you know what I'm saying, rush you. It's just like, what up?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of celebrities even like it here. They slide through. They be in the hood. We got so many restaurants in the hood with pictures with these celebrities and ballers and taking pictures with them at the restaurants. It's cool here. I like it here. We a big city, but
Well,
a
that's
small
what's
city at
up.
the same time. But
Well,
yeah, so
that's
when you
what's
think
up.
of
Well,
us,
I'm
don't
happy.
think Omaha when you think of us. Just think. I mean, don't think Nebraska when you think of Omaha. Just you know.
I just think about Omaha steaks, and that's it.
Oh, girl, I used to work there when I was younger, and I got fired. Actually,
Oh,
I
huh.
used to work there doing telemarketing, outbound sales, and I suck at outbound sales. I couldn't sell shit. I couldn't
Hmm.
sell shit. So yeah, I got fired from there. One time I didn't make enough sales, and I was like, "Fuck y'all." Oh well,
Girl, on this.
where y'all
But
be?
yeah. But I just had came up here for a few minutes with your hood table. Where in the hell Charlie ass at? I ain't seen her.
Um, Charlie, I've been seeing her in a few chats today, but she didn't go live today because she had to run errands for her family, her mom and dad. So she had to go out and pay bills and all kind of other stuff like that. But she said she'll be back
Oh,
Monday.
okay.
But I'm sure when she comes back Monday, she gonna have a lot to talk about because Mondays is messy Monday, right?
It sure is Messy Monday, Mod
Not
Monday. I mean,
Monday.
Catherine Powell is her mod. So you know damn well
Yes.
on Mod Monday, Messy Monday, I'm gonna get up there. Charlie, let's talk about your mod. Her right there.
Oh,
You know that's gonna be up my alley. Because Catherine Powell, I ain't never did nothing to this woman a day in my life. And this woman has had a disdain for me. She be over there at Jay Wilson's talking about me, dragging me all types of stuff. Only for her to come
oh.
out with this bullshit.
I did not know that. And yes, Miss Queenie, back in the gap. You know what? When I talk to people who think of our state, they be like, ain't that the wild kingdom? They think of the animals and the zebras and the lions and the bears, and I be like, it was just a TV show, y'all. Goddamn.
Oh,
It was just a
because when
TV
you told me
but it
about
was
it, I was like, did it come on Nickelodeon? Because I really didn't know what you was talking about.
it was a very
But
popular
probably
show. Every week they would focus on a different animal from the wildlife. I mean, shit, we
okay.
still get mountain lions down in the city. Okay. I remember
Oh man.
this past summer, it was a mountain lion threat. And they had got so close within to my home. I was like, oh, hell no. Let me keep my grandbaby in the house. We can't play in the backyard until they catch that motherfucker. Like, mm-mm. But yeah, that was a popular show. Most people remember that show from back in the day because it was done out of our state. Mhm.
So now, when you just said a mountain lion threat, so what that mean? It's just one on the loose somewhere near you.
Yeah, because like I don't know if you saw my one video where I posted I was in traffic behind a family who was riding horses. And I'm like, come on, God, I'm just trying to get home. Our state, of course, back in the day, the whole state was real country, like real country. Then it broke off into cities, of course, and ours is the main city. There's the capital in
Hmm.
Lincoln, but we're still like the biggest city here in the state. But there's some areas who still have like I could drive 3 blocks over and see a family with pigs in their back. You know what I'm saying? I can go up
Hmm.
half a mile and see a farm next to somebody's house. So it's city, but in certain areas they still have that where they can have like farm animals, they can have, things like
Hmm.
that. So the outskirts of our city is all like is real country. Like I was saying on a live
Right.
like maybe a week ago, if you drive from my house, if you drive about 30-40 minutes out, it take you about 40 minutes out to get to where you pass the city and you just all you see is a whole bunch of farms and grass and cows and that's all you're gonna see for hours and hours and hours and hours. So a lot of those animals are out there, mountain lions, and they get lost and they come through the city. And if don't nobody catch them, they just keep on roaming through the city, you know,
Right.
and it's kind
Wow.
of scary.
Hmm.
And people be having them on their ring cameras. I'll be like, oh hell no, that motherfucker get closer and closer. And the whole city be looking for him. Like, if you see the mountain lion, make sure you call 911. Do not try to go out there. Like, girl, I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm staying in the house.
I couldn't
Hell
imagine it.
no.
Even here in Georgia, when I moved here, I couldn't stand the fact because they got a lot of spiders here. I ain't never seen
And
this many
snakes.
spiders until I moved here. And snakes. Yep.
Mhm.
But I couldn't imagine a damn mountain lion. I mean, damn, a mountain
Girl,
lion. I couldn't even imagine. I have to move.
girl, it's at least once a year. It's a mountain lion sight. At least once a year. And it's usually in the
Mm,
summertime. And they just, come from out in the country and they find their way somehow. And the craziest part is, how does Mountain Lion get from all the way out in the country? We talking almost an hour out. And they come all the way through the city. They gotta cross traffic, they gotta cross interstates. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Y'all get down here. And when they start getting closer to the hood, oh, we don't play about that. Everybody down here strapped and shit. Like, let that motherfucker come up in my yard. We gonna have mountain lion for dinner today.
I just couldn't imagine how long the mountain lion had to walk to get that far. So
Thank
you
you,
mean to tell me he just walking for 12 hours to see what he could get,
girl.
where he could get to?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But once they
I
find
did
them,
want
they
to.
usually take them back. They just catch them and they take them back. They drive them hours out and just take them back to the country.
Well, I did want to, because I don't know if Deanna is still up in there because she was, but I don't know if she done left. But I was going to mess with Deanna because I wanted to know her thought about April being pregnant. Because I don't think
Oh
I heard her talk
Lord.
about it yet.
I think she did talk about it the other day, and I don't know if Deanna is still here, but I do think she did talk about it for a little bit. They say she's 52 and
Okay.
pregnant, right? I can't
Yeah, I think
imagine.
she, well, I guess for me, all last year we heard her talk about she was pausing all men and every excuse for why she cried and why she
That's
was sniffing stuff
right.
off the table. She was pausing all men. So I'm trying
After
to
they
figure
thought
out
she
how
was
in the hell
smoking,
is she pregnant?
and that was after they thought she was snorting, right? When they was down there with
Correct.
Ness. Yep. And she was like, I'm
Uh-huh.
pausing and I'm emotional. And I remember all that shit. And so that's why a lot of people is looking at her skeptical, like, but then I heard somebody say on here, and I don't know for sure, but I did hear somebody say on here that people who are on menopause or pre-pause or whatever, they can still have babies. They can still get pregnant. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was something that I didn't know either. Because I thought that the menopause just means that you stop producing the egg. Like, ain't
Exactly.
that what that means?
That's what I thought it means, and I thought you, of course, don't have your best friend come visit you once a month, and you know
Mm-hmm.
your home girl, how some people call it, that's my home girl, visit me once a month. But I didn't know that you could still get pregnant. But still, yet, even if I could, at 52, I bet you I won't be having no motherfucking baby. I don't care if I got pregnant or not, and I'm saying that on the hood table. Let the doctor tell me I'm with child. Shit. When is my next appointment? Where do I need to
Right.
spread them? Cause I ain't having no baby. No, no.
And
Let
just imagine
before
not.
I get in the office and change some shit up. Let me handle this shit right now.
That's
Shit.
what I was just about to say. And that's another reason why maybe too I'm more disgusted to hear about this grave injustice that's happening across the United States and everywhere with these young little girls and these grown ass men. Because yeah, Trump about to shut all that shit down. So it looked like if he shut all that shit down, these little hot ass girls that's fucking around with a 35-year-old when they barely 14, they wind up pregnant, then that's just another baby because Trump's shutting the shit down. I think people need
Girl.
to they need to get in line and get in order with this bull mess.
Well, they talking about people better start stocking up. They talking about it's gonna be like they said for the when he gets voted in or when they have the what the fuck is it called?
The inauguration.
The inauguration.
The inauguration.
It's gonna be some shit when that pop off. I'm just like, I don't know. I hope everything goes well. All I can try to do is be positive and try
Hmm.
to just run my household and go to work every day. And I don't really know what to expect, but I'm trying not to get too deep into the worry. And a lot of people are worried, like really worried. So I'm trying not to go that route. You know, it's enough
Well, the
bullshit
main
people
thing
going
that
through than to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the main thing that I was thinking about, which I'm not worried because I already came to the conclusion at the day after the election that whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. So I ain't letting none of it worry my nerves. But I will say that Monday will be, what is it, 2 years since they had stormed the Capitol. So
Mm,
it makes me wonder if all this crazy stuff that we just saw this week with what they did to New Orleans, driving that truck down Bourbon Street, what they did in damn Las Vegas, and then I think they said it was shooting somewhere else. I think in
in
New
New
York.
York. Yep, in New York. I
Yeah,
think Saida was talking about it.
yeah. And I honestly feel like all of that got to be related somehow. I feel like it's all related, but only time will tell. But yeah, remember they stormed that Capitol on January 6th, and now we approaching January 6th come Monday. And look at all this bull mess that's happening.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Jay. I'm just trying not to, it'd be so much going on in my world that I haven't really even focused a lot on him becoming president. I really haven't. I'm just being honest. Especially with a lot of things
Oh,
me and
okay.
my family been through over the last few months. That's just been the
Right.
last thing on my mind is him. Seriously.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Mhm. No, I get it.
just wait and see. I guess we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm about to get off here, but thank you for having me up, Hood Table. Let me go and see who else confessing to being great as a child. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure some more people out here confessing. This is sad.
well, it might be
This
on
is
Lemon's
sad.
panel. What Lemon and them talking about? I was over there earlier on Lemon's panel, and then I don't know what I started doing. I think I started watching. I think Saida had went live. I had to catch up on
Mhm.
Brick, and it was just so many people going live today. I was trying to play catch up, but so I haven't really been over Lemons. But have they been talking about it?
I wasn't at Lemons. Um, Earlier today, after I saw Brianna's live, I did my live, and then from my live, I went to Saida's, and then from Saida's, I'm here. But but I was doing my live because I was just talking about Dory. These people said Dory died and came back to life and all
Girl,
this.
I talked a little bit about that shit yesterday because I truly believe that they be running the plays on us. It's like it be so like the weirdest moments where they both just be out here talking some crazy shit to each other. And I'm like, do they be planning this shit ahead of time? Like even Rick don't even believe that they don't have baby daddies and say they don't even believe that storyline. Some people don't even believe they think that's concocted. And some people do believe
Right.
that she with her baby daddy. But me personally, I just nah, that's some bullshit. Y'all be doing too much out here for the clicks and the motherfucking views. And I ain't going. Mm-mm.
I agree. But yeah, well, thank you for having me up, and I guess I'll holler at you the next time.
All right, boo. I'll see you out in these streets.
Okay, bye.
All right, good night. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. We about to get up on out of here. It is 10:19. I'm about to get over here, and there was this TV show that I was watching. Hold up, let me go to my Hulu because I need to finish this movie. It was really good, by the way. I've been watching. Okay, I don't know if y'all know about this TV show called Ghost, but I've been watching Ghost, that series, and also let me go to my Hulu on my TV. Y'all know every time I find a really good show, I'll tell y'all about it. But let's see, let's go to Hulu. Resume. Come on, Hulu. Come on, Hulu. Get to Huluing. Okay. Let me go down. Okay. Okay. Where is it? Okay, here it is. It's called Night Bitch. It's called Night Bitch. This movie that I started watching earlier, it says drama, comedy, R rated, came out in 2024. It's called Night Bitch. And like the premise of the show is this lady who is married, but her husband travels a lot, so he only comes home so many days a week. And so she's left with their little toddler, mainly all through the week. And she's getting to that point where she's just like, is this all for me? Just me waking up, me feeding the kid, me going to the park, me putting them to sleep, me giving them a bath, me. She has like no more life. And she used to be this brilliant artist, right? So it's her trying to find herself again and trying to separate, put a space between the parenting and her, and just have something else going on. And it's called The Night Bitch. And the reason why it's called A Night Bitch was because one day her husband came home from traveling, and at nighttime she just was going off. And so the next morning he was like, "Are you okay? Because last night you were kind of acting like, well, and she said, a bitch." And he said, "Well, you said it, not me." And she was standing there washing dishes. She said, I was, huh? Last night I was acting like a bitch. And she was like, a night bitch. So that's where the title of where the movie comes from, but it's on Hulu and it's kind of funny, y'all. But then the other show that I'm watching is called Ghost, and it's a TV series, and that's kind of funny too about this couple. The wife inherited a house, like a mansion type of castle house from her uncle or something, and her husband moved in, and they trying to hook the house up and bring it back to life, this big mansion. And there's ghosts who live there, but only she can see and hear and talk to the ghosts, and her husband is just there like, oh my God, are you talking to the ghosts? Are they here? Are they in the room right now? Oh my God, which one is it right now? The one with the arrow in his neck, the one who died from such and such. But that's a pretty good comedic series too. So, you might want to check some of them out. But of course, the 6888, I think that's what it called, the Tyler Perry show. I was talking about that the other day. That's really good as well on Netflix. A lot of people are talking about that and doing commentary on that. So that's a good show to watch, especially if you into like the history of the Civil War, not the Civil War, but the World War Ones, World War Twos, all that. Black people going to fight overseas, when they really didn't want us over there. But what choice did they have after so many of them kept dying? It's like, okay, we need to recruit. But that's a good one to watch as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna be up here checking out y'all lives and dropping down here and there. And like I said, we trying to do more commentary over here now that the new year is here. Y'all know through the Christmas month, I was, trying to be with the family and, handle my family and all the business we was going through with deaths after deaths and funerals after funerals, and just trying to stay positive and lighthearted and in the holiday spirit. That's what I was trying to do during the month of December. You still saw me here and there, but I really wasn't putting out too much content. But the holidays is over. My stepfather was laid to rest. My auntie was laid to rest. My cousin was laid to rest, and my father's oldest brother this is all within the last month. Okay, like all within the last month. It's just been a lot going on, y'all. So again, I do appreciate those who have reached out to me, whether it was on YouTube, outside of YouTube, Facebook, IG, phone, text, whatever. Hit me at the hood table. How you doing? You all right? My condolences. Different things like that. I really do appreciate the support from every one of you on here. And yes, you have to see that movie, Queenie. You have to see that movie. It's on Netflix. The 6888. Yes. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, a lot of people ain't really into all the military and the wars. And, I like that kind of stuff, especially if it has to do with like the Air Force and them shooting down people. And yeah, I like that kind of shit. But yeah, I thought it was really good. And it's very like the thing about this movie, I would have honestly never known that we had like over 7,000 Black females shipped over there in the middle of the war, running from bombs and mines and all that kind of stuff, violence, while trying to get a whole community of the military getting all their mail sorted. Queenie, when you see it, and when you see they go to the when they get over there, they say, okay, where's the mail you want us to sort? They thinking it's like one room, one office, a couple of bags. You know how you be at the mail. Some of y'all probably worked at the post office, but at the post office, they have these big old carts and they be having mail and they be pushing them through the building, stuff like that. They thinking it's something like that. Man, we talking wall to wall, floor to ceiling, barrack after barrack. It was like, how many barracks? Like 16 or 20 barracks full from wall to wall, floor to ceiling of mail that they had to sort through and get delivered. And they only had so many weeks to do it. And the white women who were sent over there, the white military women who were sent over there, they couldn't do it. And families was literally going to the president saying, we haven't heard from our children. Our children are not hearing from us. We don't know if they're dead or alive. We don't know nothing because our mail is not being responded to, is not being delivered. This was years and years of mail. That black crew came through there and they did that shit. It's an amazing story. And it's also got its emotional points, its love stories and things like that. So you're gonna have your highs and lows. But it's a very, very good watch. It's a very good watch. As far as Night Bitch is very funny. Night Bitch is one of those movies where you know how you love your kids? You love your kids to death, right? But you be like, God damn, can I breathe? Can I go to the bathroom by myself? Can I go to, oh my God, mama, stop calling me mama. You can't get a break. You can't take a shower by yourself. And you just snap. And you're like, I need something for me. I'm going to find something for me. So it's really funny, Miss Queenie. I think you're going to enjoy that. Again, Ghost, that's really good. And of course, the 688. So those are my three recommendations for anybody who haven't seen those. Those are my three recommendations of TV shows and movies. But on that note, you guys, thank you for chilling with me tonight. Thank you for coming through, dropping down in the comment section, liking and sharing the videos. Thank you for the cash apps. The super chats. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to the super chat. Deanna, thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. Also, you guys, tomorrow I probably won't be here. It'll probably be Sunday when I come back because tomorrow night my baby is coming over, which is my grandbaby. I call him my baby. Those of y'all know. He'll be over tomorrow. It's supposed to be snow tomorrow, so I'm hoping we won't be like stuck and stranded. But if so, he'll be over here with his yaya and he'll be okay. But yeah, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow, so hopefully we won't have no issues with power or heat or anything like that. Because y'all know the Midwest, we can get them snows, child. We can get them winter storms and it can be a whole mess. It can be a whole mess. But yeah, I'll probably be back Sunday. Chop it up with you guys Sunday. I'm trying to at least make a promise to come live at least, if not every day, for at least 30 minutes to an hour, but at least every other day. So that's my promise to you guys starting off in 2025. Okay. Even if we just coming up here just shooting the shit about life, about children, about work, about the B sector, about celebrities, about the hood table over here. We discuss everything from the hood to the White House, so you never know what's going to go down over here. Okay, but I do appreciate those of you who have been following me and supporting me along this YouTube world, along this commentary world, because it's hard out here for a pimp to do commentary sometimes. It really is. And so I do understand where Jay Dunn was coming from earlier when she was like, oh my God, Catherine Powell's story that came out here, and now we got all these Me Too stories and all these women in the B sector that have been through the same situations, but y'all never talked about it before. And like I told Jay, I didn't discuss a few times in the past certain things that I've been through growing up, but it's not a comfortable space like it used to be back in the day on YouTube, especially in these sectors. People don't make it comfortable for you like they used to come out here and discuss certain things and be transparent with your supporters, because we always going to be scrutinized, always, even if we're talking about God or whatever. Hey, look at Fi over there. She went over there and started preaching and whatever, and she was still being scrutinized. So no matter what we talk about on here, somebody's always going to scrutinize us and judge us or spin a narrative. So it's no wonder to me why a lot more people don't come out here telling their Catherine Powell stories, But anywho, you guys make sure you like and share the video if you haven't already. Thank you, sis Low. Hey, smooches boo. You guys feel free to hit the Cash App if you want to donate. $, the hood table 402. And as always, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times. And what we always say, sis Low, always remember to keep it hood. I'm out.